2023 was a big year for me. I started training more seriously and sign up for as many races I could find. Main goal and focus was on my first Ironman race in Cairns. But if you know me, I can never say no to any kind of running or biking race. So the race schedule turned out pretty big. I ended up signing up for 20 races throughout the year, and here's a whole list of them. For the past 2 years I've been training all by myself in a little country town called Mariba. It's a place where people won't understand why you ride push bikes when you can ride motorbikes. One time I was out running and I often saw this old fella working in his garden, and then once he yelled out to me, "You should get a car." And too often when I went out to do my swimming session, I found out that the pool is closed again for whatever reason at that time. So after a while I started thinking of moving to Cairns, which is only an hour drive and has much better training possibilities. And I know many other athletes from there as well. As far as the training plan goes, I was reading up what other athletes do and their programs and try to follow it by the field. I like to switch between road biking and mountain biking, so all the riding you have to do to finish an Ironman doesn't get as boring. Mountain biking has this magic, it never gets boring. You almost forget that you're training. You have to be focused. I like to think of it as a form of meditation.
Put the seat down. You alive?
And then there is this. When it's pouring down rain outside, you just sit there and grind away. First race of the year, the race season, Yorkie Snow Duathlon. It's gonna be 5k run, 20k bike ride, and another 2.5k run at the end. Yorkie Snow Duathlon was a great start for the year. I ran my 5k personal best time, just under 90 minutes. For the bike leg, I trialed flat pedals with my running shoes instead of clip-ins, as it's only a short race and any seconds you can save can be really precious. It felt a bit off because I had a hard time finding a comfortable spot on the pedal, and I had to keep shifting the leg to get a position to produce enough power, so I most likely won't use that again.
Woohoo! Nice work.
I started the bike at the 8th position and pedaled myself back to a 2nd place, and only got run down on the last few hundred meters and finished 3rd overall.
Hello, mate. Good job.
That was the first race done. Really stoked with the 3rd place, as there was many fast runners, but bike being my strength, I could pedal myself back to a podium. Next up we had a 4-hour trail run called Bastard Express. It's an interesting race as runners can choose between 3 different lengths of laps, and at the end they're all added together, so nobody really knows who's gonna win before everyone's finished their laps and the time is up. I chose to run 7-kilometer laps and ended up running 6 of them, which put me just over 42 kilometers.
Well done, guys. Woo! Nice. Well done. Oh, wow. You're bleeding. Oh, yep. All right. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Yeah, very good. Go for another lap.
You don't have any time.
You got 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael. I'm a bit sweaty today. You had a bit of an accident, did you? Oh, yeah. It's kind of stuck.
By surprise, I picked up another podium with a 3rd place. It was really fun and well organized race, and I will definitely be back for more. Next in line we had Lake Eacham Sprint Triathlon.
Yeah, you got it.
It was a freshwater swim, 4 bike laps around windy Rainforest Road, and 2 trail run laps around the lake.
So anyone who's up top too, we have some juniors coming in to the finish.
We don't have the partner anymore.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Swim leg went pretty good. There was a rising sun that made sighting very difficult, but I made it back to the right side of the lake.
Well done, Ronaldo.
For the bike leg, I chose to ride my road bike as we had many sharp turns and road was wet from the big rain night before. The whole front group rode together, the whole bike leg, and nobody could get a gap, but many tried. I started the run at second place, just behind the leader, but had a hard time keeping up with the young guns. Ended up finishing 5th place overall this time. Good race. Next up I had my first 50-kilometer ultramarathon. I was aiming to run at my marathon pace, but that idea went out of the window after 15 kilometers. From there on it was a survival to make it to the end. Finish time of 4 hours and 26 minutes and 7th place overall. Reward was ice bath bucket.
Straight down. And stay out.
That was the starting whistle for annual Kuranda train race. It's a run that starts in a freshwater railway station. First 5 kilometers is a road run before heading up the Douglas Trail all the way to Kuranda, which is on top of the range, and another 13 kilometers away at 700 meters of elevation. And the race goes against the train. You try to make up to the top before the train gets there.
Rinaldo! Woo!
Unfortunately, this year I didn't beat the train, so I gotta go back next year. And then it was time for the main event, Cairns Ironman.
Sieltä tulevat meidän Ironman.
It was exciting and scary. I had done a lot of training and felt confident, but finish line still seemed very far away. I was so excited that I ripped a big hole in my wetsuit before the start, but that didn't worry me too much. I finished the 3.8 kilometer swim in 1 hour and 12 minutes. Bike went really good as well. I rode 180 kilometers in 5 hours and 30 minutes. And then finished it all off with a marathon in 3 hours 50 minutes. Total time of 10 hours and 44 minutes. Weather was great, spectators were amazing, and everything went really smooth. We were hosting our new friend Jordan from Canada for Ironman, and after the race he sold me his weapon of a bike. He's an Ultraman world champion, by the way.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
A week after an Ironman, it's always a good idea to shake the legs up for a good mountain bike race. It was a local 3-hour cross-country race organized in Smithfield Mountain Bike Park by Discovery Cycles. Finished in second place this time, behind our local legend Paul. And then it was time for Cairns Marathon. It's a funny story, that one. First I forgot all my gels, hoping to get some nutrition on the course, but they only had water and Gatorade. I got to a halfway point in my target time of 3-hour marathon, but then I started to feel very weak. It only went harder from there and only just made it to the finish line in 3 hours and 27 minutes. Once I got back to my car, for my surprise, I found all my breakfast sitting in the car, which I thought I already eaten. So I must have been so hyped up that I ran a marathon on completely empty stomach. Next up I had Elevate mountain bike race in Atherton. It's an 8-hour endurance race, riding 12-kilometer laps, and whoever does the most laps wins. It was wet and muddy and cold, but I made it through the 8 hours. Another podium and 3rd place overall. Time to test out my new TT bike in a race. Coral Coast Olympic Distance Triathlon. Great conditions for the race, flat water and beautiful sunny day. Swim went really good again. Came out of the water in the 7th position. Bike leg went even better. Got myself up to a 2nd position briefly, but Cody didn't like that too much and took the lead, coming back into the transition. I had a very fast transition and came out 2nd. Got run down by Cody, who went on to take the win, but I managed to run down James on the last few hundred meters and finish in 2nd place.
Well done! No? Reina, go!
Great racing and another successful event by Cairns Crocs. Next up was 4-day, 4-stage mountain bike race called Reef to Reef. After the first stage, I was in 5th position, 9 seconds behind the 4th.
Ronaldo coming across the line. This side is plus trial. Look at that, 20 hops across the line. Well done. Hands in the air, roll out the carpet.
Second day we swapped some positions with few riders, but I still ended up in 5th position and 30 seconds back. Third day I had great ride, moved up to the 1st position, but only to find out that the first 2 riders had taken a wrong turn and the race organizers decided to cancel the whole stage 3 results.
Ito siis, näin kummialla.
'Cause you've got a Tim Grover. Ronaldo Lino is next, folks. Wow, there's some movement at the top here in his solo. Open Grandmasters, let me tell you.
No niin, 4. päev.
Eks näis, kas seda võetakse arvesse või mitte, aga peaks ikkagi jälle 25 sekundit 4. koha taga.
Day 4 I had lots of climbing in the beginning of the race and I lost the group and had to ride solo all the way to the finish. Four days of epic racing. I got 8th place overall and 3rd in my age group. This was the start bell at the Grin and Bear It Multisport Challenge. It started with a 2-kilometer swim in Lake Tinaroo.
Good work, Ronaldo! Woohoo!
Next leg was 12 kilometers of surf ski, which I didn't have much time to practice. As you can see, I only practiced it twice before the event, which clearly wasn't enough. Eventually I did kind of get going.
Woohoo! Tubli, Ronaldo!
From then on it only got worse. Wind picked up and the waves were coming from every direction.
Manus al cruising!
it ended up being one of the hardest things I've ever done. I really wanted to quit, but it was just too long of a walk back to the finish. At the end I got pretty good at climbing back on a surf ski.
Well done! Oh. Nice! Woohoo!
Next up was a 66-kilometer mountain bike ride with 1600 meters of climbing. It was a challenging ride, but I had lots of fun trying to catch up to all the riders who had slightly better surf ski than me. After the bike we had another 12 kilometers of trail run in the hills with 600 meters of elevation. I finished the run first, but I had taken the wrong turn somewhere, which cut my race shorter by 1 kilometer, and I got a penalty which put me to a 4th place overall. Total time of 7 hours and 50 minutes. Another iconic event in North Queensland. And then it was time for another spring triathlon in Yorkie Snow. I went to defend my last year's win. It was a very hot day, but great race without any interruptions.
Woohoo! Go Ronaldo! Teine äkki.
We had a legend Richmond up from down south who took out the first place. But we had a great battle with Neil on the bike and run for the 2nd place, where I held him off in the finish sprint.
Woohoo! Well done, Ronaldo!
Another podium and the 2nd place. Thank you Cairns Crocs Club for making these awesome events. Next big race was the Smurfs Backyard Ultra. It's a race where you have to run 6.7 kilometer loop every hour, and it starts again every hour until you can't go on anymore. And then we just ran and ate and ran and ran and ran. And ran some more.
Äkkäst. Just sinä.
And run again some more.
Jooksvat smurfia olette varem näinud? Sealt on.
If you run long enough, people might start to look like Smurfs.
Go Kevin!
and then it got dark and some people had enough, but some people ran some more.
Läheb Rinaldo, tubli oled.
Until I had enough and decided not to run anymore. And that was it for me. I ran 15 laps, which got me the 100-kilometer mark, and that was my longest run to date. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the video of my racing highlights of the year. I surely had some fun, met lots of crazy people and enjoyed many sun races with 160 beats per minute. Bring on the 2024.